Coming up on OU Nightly, breaking news, big changes to the student sections ordered by the SEC. We will tell you what it means.
Allergies are in full effect here on campus. I have the latest for you coming up.
And a shooting over the weekend at the Oklahoma State Fair. We have updates. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Spencer Plato.
And I'm Mecca Thompson. We begin tonight with breaking news about OU's move to the SEC.
Tonight, we know the SEC will require OU to move part of the student section for football games. OU Nightly sports reporter Zoe Watson is following this story from our newsroom and joins us with the details. Zoe?
Spencer, this information was released to OU season ticket holders late this afternoon. The changes mean that the OU student section will actually grow by 300 seats. Here's what the OU student section looks like right now. It's traditionally been sections 26 through 30, but starting next year it moves to section 20, rows 6 through 28 only, and also to sections 22 through 28. The OU athletic department says this is going to create a more intimate environment and provide students with the opportunity to make a larger impact on the game each week. Here's a seating map provided by the OU Athletics. OU students are seated in the red and visiting teams' seats are in the yellow. Per SEC requirements, the visiting team is required to be offered 2,000 seats in the lower bowl of the stadium. The rules apply to all SEC teams, and the big question about if ticket prices will go up is not being addressed right now. We'll stay on top of that one and let you know as soon as we hear anything. In the newsroom, Zoe Watson, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Zoe. New information tonight on a shooting at the Oklahoma State Fair Saturday night. We know one person is injured and 2 were taken into custody after a shooting at the Oklahoma State Fair. OU Nightly's Noah Mack is live at the fairgrounds with the latest from the ongoing investigation. Noah?
The Oklahoma City Police tells us that this was an isolated incident, the shooting that happened at the event center here at the fairgrounds. And now the incident happened around 9 p.m. on Saturday night, and one of the 3 people who were involved was injured and rushed to the nearest hospital, while the other 2 were taken into custody by police that night. Now, Scott Muntz, the State Fair Vice President of Marketing, tells OU Nightly they still do not know how the shooter entered with a firearm. He says they were sifting through surveillance footage, and he can confirm that they did not enter through any of the main entrances.
I mean, it was a situation that we truly regret. It happened around 9 o'clock on a Saturday night when we were extremely busy. We shut the property down after that as safety protocols at the recommendation of the Oklahoma City Police Department. We took our lead from them and shut it down, and we'll evaluate it post-event to see if there's anything we could have conceivably done different.
So I talked to some folks who were here that night, and they said it was a truly chilling experience. Reporting live from the fairgrounds, Noah Mack, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Noah. Another big story today, the number of people sniffling and sneezing.
That's right. It's all thanks to sky-high allergy levels. Let's get right over to OU Nightly meteorologist Sam Patterson. Sam, some people are miserable.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Spencer. We are going to take a live look at the stadium right now along Asp Avenue. You can see the green trees, green grass. Although fall has started, unfortunately, our pollen counts have not fallen. You can see weeds very high, mold high levels, trees and grass at those medium levels as well. So it is extremely uncomfortable outside with people suffering with allergies. Fortunately, right now, I haven't had any, but I know a lot of people who have. Some of them have even had to call in sick to school because of the headaches and sinus infections they have gotten from that. So are we going to get relief from this anytime soon? No. You can see tonight, going to stay around 80 and clear as we head through tomorrow morning. Temperatures going to stay around the low 60s for our low. And unfortunately, cloud cover is going to stay. No rain chances. And coming up, we'll talk about those warm temperatures, that dry week, and we'll take a look at that drought monitor of when we might get some rain coming up.
Thanks, Sam. As we get deeper into the fall, there's more concern about the spread of COVID. And tonight, we know it's possible to order free at-home test kits again. Some of the dates on the test may show that they are expired, but the U.S. Food and Drug Administration says they're still good. In Oklahoma, there's about 76 people hospitalized with COVID, according to the CDC. That's a 48% increase over the last 14 days. You can order 4 free test kits per address by Googling free COVID test kits.
Major Hollywood studios and the Writers Guild have reached a tentative agreement. Now it needs to be ratified by the members of the Writers Guild of America. Evan Rodriguez explains what's next.
A crowd of Hollywood writers burst into celebration as word spreads of a tentative agreement with the major studios.
We're trying to save writers' ability to pay their rent, to pay for a mortgage, to put kids through school, to save for a rainy day.
It's a significant turning point for the nearly 5-month-long strike. Days of marathon negotiating sessions began last week once the CEOs of 4 major studios actively joined the conversation.
I feel like they realize, like, oh, I actually need to be present and actually hear what the writers and our workers are saying, because I don't think they really thought we were serious.
The deal still needs to be ratified, but the WGA released a statement saying they could authorize members to return to work before that, when leadership meets on Tuesday.
All right, everybody.
Daytime and late-night talk shows will likely be the first to return to your screens, but most other major productions will have to wait for their actors. SAG-AFTRA, representing about 160,000 actors, also hit the picket lines mid-July. There is hope that the studio's agreement with the writers will also allow it to reach a deal with the actors.
This is a really significant window of opportunity these next couple of weeks. If we were able to get back to the table and talk, there's a small possibility you could get things into production before the holidays.
Thanks, Evan. Writers could be back at work as early as this week, and the Writers Guild of America has not disclosed the exact terms of the agreement, but claimed the deal is, quote, exceptional.
The federal government is set to shut down in less than a week unless a short-term spending bill is passed. Abby Williams has that and the rest of today's headlines from the News Center.
A government shutdown could affect thousands of Americans, and some lawmakers say the shutdown looks inevitable. According to CNN, 4 million federal employees could be without paychecks. It would also cost the U.S. economy $6 billion per week. Americans could experience travel interferences, food and housing impacts, and even health risks as the Environmental Protection Agency puts a halt to inspections.
We cannot go into government shutdown. I know this is a political thing. However, that's just cannot be an option because it does put the economy in a place where checks don't get sent out. Businesses start closing down.
Congress returns Tuesday to vote on major spending bills. In El Paso, Texas, the city is opening up emergency shelters as they see an overflow of migrants coming to the U.S. El Paso is one of several U.S. border cities experiencing spikes in migrant numbers. The city's mayor says over the weekend there are 6,500 in custody. And overnight, Russia strikes Ukraine, causing significant damage to the southern port of Odessa. The attack resulted in a fire at a non-functioning hotel, and CNN says at least one person was injured in the attack. And Canada upgrades a travel advisory to the highest degree of caution to India amid calls for protest. The government's travel website says there are negative sentiments towards Canada on social media. Mecca, Spencer.
Thanks, Abby. First Baptist Church in Norman is offering free English classes for international families and students. Everyone is welcome to attend the free classes. Instructors believe teaching English is important. However, being immersed in various cultures and understanding different backgrounds can promote a more welcoming community. Classes are offered Wednesday evenings and Thursday mornings. For more information, call First Baptist Church.
Coming up on OU Nightly, big changes to student loans.
That's right. Hear how payments could skip without your credit score taking a hit.
And calling all travelers, if you're planning a trip this fall, you may see some cheaper airline tickets.
See how much you can save when OU Nightly returns.
it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Heads up, right now for the next 12 months, borrowers of loans can skip payments without facing any consequences. OU Nightly's Kaylee Carnine explains how in Money Matters.
Spencer, the Biden administration is providing what they call an on-ramp period. That means until September 2024, a borrower cannot be reported as being in default to the national credit rating agencies. So it won't affect your credit score, but you're not off the hook that easy. Interest will still occur. The federal government says to check the U.S. Department of Education's website for more information. A shortage continues to scare parents as commonly used kids' antibiotics are off the shelves. According to the FDA, liquid forms of amoxicillin, commonly used to treat strep, chest and sinus infections, and earaches, are in short supply. Some analysts say that this shortage is due to amoxicillin's low price point. It's not as profitable for companies, so they've shifted their focus to other drugs. And now is the time to buy a plane ticket. Listen to this. According to the travel app Hopper, airline tickets are making a descent. Prices are down 29% in September and October from the summer travel months. And European flights are down 31%. That's saving of more than $300. And here's a way to make a few bucks. Become a Reddit ranter. You can spend points you earn from your upvotes into actual cash. Reddit just launched their new rewards program. Mecca, Spencer.
Thanks, Kaylee. Next on OU Nightly, fall is in full swing here in Norman.
We'll show you how the city of Norman is making an effort to get you outdoors during the fall season.
And we got those warm, dry temperatures coming up. I'll have your first look at the forecast for the week ahead after this.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move.
so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Well, it was another dry, warm day for us here in the state of Oklahoma. Take a live look at South Oval here on the University of Oklahoma campus. Right now in Norman, 90 degrees. Dew point nice and low though, 55 degrees there, and wind nice and fast, about 11 degrees from the east-northeast. Looking across the state, same story. Most of us in those low 90s, a few of us a little bit warmer, some of us a little bit lower, like Guyman, up at 85 degrees. Current dew points, like I said, we are pretty dry right now. Norman 55, dew point in Oklahoma City 56, a little bit warmer, more moist as you head down towards Idabel, but not too bad right here. And although we've had some rain over the last couple of weeks, we are still under an abnormal to moderate drought risk, and as you head further south, exceptional. Same story as you head a little bit further towards the north. Let's take a look at temperatures throughout this month of September. You can see above average from the 1st all the way to the 10th. And then we had this week of rain through here from the 11th to the 16th. We cooled down a good bit there, and then another set of warmer than average days and a few average scattered in there throughout the week. So here's your tomorrow. What are we going to see? Pretty much normal. Starting about 64, 8 a.m. Mid 70s, low 80s around lunchtime. As we get around that heating of the day, again, a low or a high, I should say, it's going to be around that 90-degree point. Going to cool back down into the low 80s, and our lows will be in the 60s. So when are we going to get out of this heat and dryness? Well, bad news, not anytime soon. You can see tonight, again, starting those 70s, we're going to cool on down. Maybe a few scattered clouds across the state. Should be pretty clear here in Oklahoma. 62 in Norman for our low. As we get the heating of the day, lack of clouds, probably again highs back in towards the 90s. Could see a few scattered showers, mainly to the east, but pretty unlikely, or I should say to the west. Pretty unlikely though. Again, lows about 70 degrees for Thursday morning, and then as we head to Thursday afternoon, again 90 degrees. Same story, just same thing over and over again. Unfortunately, this is how it's going to be for the next couple of days. Again, Friday morning could see a few scattered showers up towards the Panhandle. Here in Norman though, we are going to remain dry. So here's a big look at the heating. You can see cold air up towards Seattle, up into Canada. Unfortunately, here in Norman, you can see the oranges a little bit warmer there, all the way from Texas up even into the Dakotas. So unfortunately, if you want to cool down, you might want to go to Seattle for a couple of weeks. Next 7 days, temperatures in the 90s for us, pretty much evening there. A little bit of wind for our Saturday, but those hot, dry temperatures are not going to help out any of you who suffer with allergies right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was really feeling those warmer temperatures this morning.
And like you were saying, my allergies insane right now. Hoping it can go away.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's going to be a couple weeks before we get rid of them.
The city of Norman brings in fall with the state of the environment in mind. Norman Parks and Recreation and the Oklahoma Forestry Services hosted a walk in the forest to inform residents about their surroundings. Attendees walked along the Ruby Grant Park trails and learned how the community uses the natural resources on a daily.
There's water purification, the roots as water percolates through the soil and gets into our water system. They can help filter the water.
For more information on Norman's environmental initiatives, visit www.normanok.gov.
OU Volleyball hosted a top 10 team to open up conference play this weekend.
And OU Soccer looks to stay undefeated in Big 12 play. OU Nightly Sports' Britton Ross has more.
Thanks, ladies. Oklahoma football made a statement in Cincinnati. The last lap around the Big 12 neighborhood is off to a hot start, and our OU Nightly Sports team will have a full game report. That and more next in sports.
It all can get so out of control. Sometimes you can lose your faith, you can lose your mind, lose your grip, get stripped of your pride till you don't know how you're gonna stay alive. Hey, hey, I got you. I will give you what you need, and I'll be right there. I got you back. I got you.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Hello, I'm Britton Ross, and it's time for sports. Oklahoma football opened up conference play this weekend at Cincinnati. OU Nightley's Stone Weber has more from Nippert Stadium.
A slow start on Saturday at Nippert Stadium had OU football up just 10-3 at halftime against the Cincinnati Bearcats. The Sooners defense gave up just 60 yards in the first quarter, but this touchdown on the quarterback keeper from Dillon Gabriel put OU up 17-6, and the Sooners didn't look back. OU football leaves the state of Oklahoma for the first time this season and defeats the Cincinnati Bearcats 20-6 here at Nippert Stadium. 26 points, the lowest combined scoring in an OU game since 2013. But Dillon Gabriel, he still threw for 322 yards, but they know that they need to be better going forward.
Close to being, again, dominant means that you're playing close to perfection, you know, somewhere close, and I don't feel like we are. There's lots of places that we got to get better.
The Sooners return home for their final game before the Red River rivalry this Saturday against Iowa State. Reporting from Cincinnati, Stone Weber, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Stone. Now kicking it off to the pros, former OU receiver Hollywood Brown seals the 28-16 win for the Cardinals over the Cowboys with this touchdown. And former Sooner linebacker Kenneth K9 Murray snags the game-winning interception in the Chargers' 28-24 win over the Vikings. And Denver Broncos receiver Marvin Mims scored on a 99-yard kickoff return touchdown in Denver's historic 70-20 loss to the Dolphins. And Monday Night Football will feature a pair of former Sooner quarterbacks as Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers host Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles tonight at 6. And the OU volleyball team hosted the number 9 Texas Longhorns for 2 matches over the weekend. In Friday's match, Alexis Shelton led Oklahoma with 15 kills, and Taylor Preston led the Sooners with 9 kills in Saturday's match. Neither match would go OU's way as Texas took both 3-0. And OU soccer traveled down to the new Big 12 member Houston on Sunday. Down a goal with just 16 minutes left, Sooner Magic came in clutch. The Sooners rallied off 2 goals in just 8 minutes. They hung on for the 2-1 win and stays undefeated in Big 12 play. And the OU men's tennis team competed at the U.S. Collegiate Cup Invitational this weekend. The Sooners went 11-0 in singles, including sweeps over Baylor and TCU. Sophomore Luis Alvarez went 5-0 on the weekend. Ladies, back to you.
Thanks, Britton. Coming up, find out what bizarre attraction brought dozens of people to Port Washington Beach in Wisconsin. Here's a hint. It has to do with a tropical bird in a cool climate.
And we'll take a final look at our forecast when OU Nightly returns.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Things like grass clippings and leaves can contribute harmful levels of nutrients into our surface and drinking water. We must improve water quality at Lake Thunderbird, our main drinking water source, which begins with taking care of our stormwater. Bag your clippings when mowing, or leave them to break down and nourish your lawn. We drink our stormwater, so don't blow it by leaving your grass clippings in the street. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
I'm Chewy Dominguez at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Governor Kevin Stitt just announced a new task force to study the potential uses of artificial intelligence within the state government. The governor says that AI has the potential to revolutionize the way our society operates. The task force will evaluate and develop policy and administrative recommendations for future use. Spencer, Mecca.
Thanks, Chewy. Many people flocked to Port Washington Beach in Wisconsin to see a bizarre scene. A flock of flamingos were found wading in the water last Friday.
Bird watchers and photographers gathered to see the rare occasion. It's believed the birds were diverted to the port after Hurricane Idalia. Well, we won't be seeing any flamingos around, but we are definitely feeling those warm temperatures.
You know, I'm imagining flamingos on the South Oval, and that would just be so beautiful. But now, on to meteorologist Sam Patterson for a final check on our forecast.
Yeah, I mean, flamingos in Wisconsin, all we have here in Oklahoma, though, allergies and dry temperatures. Again, we've said this over and over again. Weeds very high. We've got grass and trees at those medium levels, mold at a high level. If you don't have allergy meds and you suffer, now would be a perfect time to go and get those allergy medicines. One final look at that 7-day temperatures around that 90-degree mark throughout the next 7 days. Spencer, Mecca.
Thanks, Sam. Thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Mecca Thompson.
And I'm Spencer Plato. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.